But I would say just kind of like, give yourself a break. It's simple, but it's not like easy. Like, so, you need to put in like the work and you need to like focus on one thing. Like I was trying to do so many different things, like I was saying, and then I would kind of beat myself up because I'm like not having success. And then I was like, well, how could I possibly have success when I'm doing all these different things and I'm not giving any one of them the chance to have success? That's what I would say. Like literally just give yourself some grace, pick one thing and focus on that. Just, take it easy. Like I was also trying to do, like $1 million right away.
Got to connect with you. I watched you on social media, how you were traveling the world, running your business virtually, going to multiple different countries and just having success while being a digital nomad. And every single time I saw that, I'm like, how do I do that? How do I take that leap? And I think a lot of it was like a mental game of like me just being scared. But dude, I am following in your footsteps. I put in my notice to vacate my apartment and I am gonna go do it. So bro, like I wanna call you on the podcast because I want to hear like how you did it, how you took that leap from having that comfort, being so used to your country, being so used to your way of generating income, to just being like, screw it, I'm gonna leave America and I'm gonna go travel the world and wing it and just rely on faith that the money is gonna be there.
Yeah. Well, appreciate you having me on here first off. It's a pleasure. And yeah, I mean, it was a pretty amazing year. So it was like just under a year. It was like 11 months we were out there, 14 countries, pretty much all Southeast Asia and then regular, like Eastern Asia. And yeah, working the whole time remote and doing wholesaling from over there.
Dude, like when you left the country originally, did you have any fears of like, what if this doesn't work out and you're like trapped in a third world country, or were you just like fully confident when you left?
I was a little bit worried more about like actual, like the experience of traveling to Asia and like just kind of like backpacking. Like we just brought, my wife and I, or fiance at the time, actually girlfriend at the time when we went, but we just brought backpacks. Like that was it. No checked luggage, like nothing. But like we were talking to people beforehand, everyone's saying like, it's really unsafe. Like you got to make sure you bring like, like that strap, like for your money that goes like underneath your clothes, like what the guy wears in a Euro trip, like back in the day. So we had those like strapped underneath us for like our stuff. And it turned out to be like the safest place in the world. Like we came back and like, I'm normally from like New York area. And like we went to New York City and I felt like way more nervous walking around New York City than I did in like Asia, in any of these countries. So we were like a little bit more worried, or I was at least a little bit more worried about just like that aspect of it, like the safety. Same thing in the Philippines. Like I heard people were getting, like kidnapped all the time, but we just kind of took the jump and we're like, all right, well, we're gonna find out one way or another. So like, let's just go for it.
Let's see if we get kidnapped.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And yeah, originally it was only like 2 months that we were planning on going, but we just bought one-way flights and then just stayed there. Yeah. For that almost 11 months.
Wow. Bro, like, so you were wholesaling virtually this whole time?
Yep. Yeah. So I actually,
how did you deal with the time zone, the not having cell service, like it being a totally different country, like internet, like accommodation? How did you deal with all of that? Still run your business?
Yeah, I mean, thank God for Starbucks. So shout out if they're ever
watching. Worldwide.
Starbucks is everywhere. There's like every 2 blocks in the entire world, there's a Starbucks, and they all have pretty good Wi-Fi. So I pretty much like ran my business out of Starbucks. And then I did a couple things like, like I bought this like a mobile hotspot. So like pretty much wherever I was, like I could connect if I wasn't around a Starbucks. So I would be like on a train sometimes and I would just pop on this like mobile hotspot. I was like on a boat in like Indonesia, like using the hotspot. I know, it's amazing. I switched my
Somebody has to live it.
Yeah, exactly. And I switched like my cell phone plan over to T-Mobile. So I got this, like I got their like best package, which was still like not that expensive, like $100 or something like per month. And I just had pretty much phone service throughout everywhere in the world. So yeah, I mean, that helped.
That's dope. So when you left, like, it sounds to me, okay, so I think I caught that. You left with your partner as your girlfriend, and then she became your fiance on the trip, and then she became your wife. So, dude, like so much happened for you in the past year. It's fascinating. Can you take
Yeah.
us on like that roller coaster ride? Like, what was that like for you, like emotionally? Like, rather than the analytical aspect of it, like, how did it feel going through all of that?
Yeah. I mean, it's been a lot. Like we finally, like after getting married, we were like, all right, this is the first time, like, like we don't have any like huge, like major life-changing events going on for a while. Like we can actually just relax and like chill. Cause yeah, I mean, I started like wholesaling April of like 2022, I guess. So I was doing that for maybe 8 months or so, right around there. And then I left my W-2 job. I'd been at that W-2 job for a decade. I literally had like just hit my like 10-year mark. And then I left there and went full-time wholesaling on December 2nd. That was my last day at the W-2.
Courage, bro. 10 years.
10 years, yeah. I was at the same job right out of college. Yeah.
Bro, usually like people are trapped by then. Like 5 years in, they're like, yes, this is my life.
I know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's why I was like, the last few years of my job, I was really starting to get like a little bit kind of like bummed out. And like, I just wasn't like feeling it, and like I managed like a team of like 20 people or whatever. And like, even my managers were like, like, what's going on with you? You don't seem like, the same like spunk that you like used to have. And I would be like, well, I'm just, I don't want to be in this job for the next 40 years and doing the same thing and not enjoying it. So I was already looking for something. I worked in New York City at like a translation company. I was like a technical program manager. Super boring. Yeah.
That doesn't sound terribly.
No, yeah, it's terrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so anyway, so I left that job after a decade on December 2nd, and December 6th is when we flew to Asia. So it was 4 days after I left that. I was full-time wholesaling. And yeah, I just kind of took the jump. Yeah.
You burnt the ships, bro. There was no going back. Exactly. You're like, I'm in a third world country. I got to make this happen.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, my girlfriend at the time, we were dating maybe like 5-ish years around then. And I knew that like over in Asia, I was going to, pop the question. I wasn't sure where exactly yet. So I was kind of like doing some research, like, while we were there a little bit, like WhatsApping, like some people to organize like a photographer and everything. And yeah, so I bought like the ring before we went over there. She had no idea it was going to happen. So it was kind of stressful because I didn't do it for like almost 2 months into the trip, like a month and a half into the trip. So I had this ring just like hidden in my sock, like in my backpack.
Yeah.
And she's always like going in my bag, like, trying to grab like a t-shirt.
Please don't do my laundry. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I love you, but like,
yeah, I'll hold the socks. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for like the first month and a half, I was kind of stressing, like, trying to hide the ring in my socks, in my backpack, which is the only thing we had. Trying to make sure it didn't get stolen, like when we're like on a boat or something like that. But actually, pro tip, if anybody ever does do this, I bought a replica ring. So the real ring was at home. And then I just had like this fake replica that was like a couple $100. So if it did get stolen, it was like not a huge deal.
Interesting.
Yeah. So she didn't even see the real ring for like a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's smart.
I know. Yeah. So I ended up doing it in Bali in Indonesia, like a month and a half in. And it was pretty amazing. Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Yeah. Over on this like mountaintop, overlooking these rivers and jungle and everything. We had these butlers driving us around, bringing us to our table, and yeah.
Oh my goodness, bro, that's so wonderful, dude. And were you guys got married in Cancun, or no? You guys got married in Florida, right? You came back.
Yeah, we got married in Florida. Yep. So we finished up the Asia trip, came back, and then planned our wedding like in like 3 months after that, also. So we just got married in Florida, and then we did a mini moon like 2 weeks in Mexico.
Damn, dude, that's dope. Yeah, that's dope. Okay, so 13 countries. So we're 2 months into the journey, and you pop the question, and now you guys are fiancés, and you're in a third world country. How's the deal flow going? Like when you're doing that, like are you just barely getting by, or like is like deals just coming to you, or like how is that? I'm really curious.
That's a really good question, and like that's what I say to people like when they're like asking like how did I do it, and like what did you do? The first thing that I kind of did is like I looked at my expenses and had a general idea of like, okay, like this is how much, it's supposed to cost for like, whatever we're doing on our trip. Like, this is how much I need. Fortunately, Southeast Asia is crazy cheap. Like I mentioned this to you before, but like you can live like a king on not a lot of money.
Bro, you mentioned that to me, dude. And like 15 days later, I'm like, okay, I'm leaving Canada.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah. Like literally like a massage here, I just saw the other day, like $150, and I was getting massage for $4. So it's insane.
Okay, so what was living expenses like? Like how did you budget? What was the financial aspect of it? I'm curious.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot, to be honest. We were generally in hotels because the two of us, like, it's generally either like you're in a hotel or a hostel or like an Airbnb. You know, we were older and like a couple, so we didn't really want to do the hostel scene too much. So we would get a hotel, and for a hotel room, it'd be like anywhere from like $15 to like $30 per night. Splitting that two ways is like nothing.
Yeah.
So we'd spend like probably an average of $20 a night on the hotel split. So $10 each. Meals were like $4 to $6. Drinks were like, you know, you could get a smoothie or like a matcha latte for like $1. And then we would do like, you know, some excursions, like, you know, go out on a boat, and it would be like $40 for like a full day boat excursion. So, I mean, we were probably spending like doing whatever we want, like $1,000 a month around there.
Holy crap, bro.
I know.
Dude,
Exactly.
why do people live in Canada? Like just in North America in general? Like
it's crazy. Like there's no reason. Yeah. If it wasn't for the time zone being so like different over there, I would move there at full time, like 100%. Like if I was Australian, I would live in Bali full time.
Bro, now when I put in my notice to vacate my apartment, like that's the one thing that I was thinking is like, I can't go to like Asia just yet because it'll be completely flipped on the time zone. I don't know how well I do showing up for my team. Like if I got to wake up in the middle of the night. So I decided Cancun as the first place.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably a better way to start. Like just, you know, a little bit easier starting in the same time zone for sure. But back with what you were just asking there. So I kind of like, you know, identified like, you know, here's how much money I have in the bank. Like, you know, here's like what I really need to like be able to eat, which is not that much in Southeast Asia, which is great. And then I just kind of like tempered my expectations of like what I wanted and like what I was like comfortable with. So, I mean, to be honest, when I was there, I wasn't working full time and I wasn't trying to close like, you know, 10 deals a month. Cause I was like, all right, if I'm spending $1,000, if I close 2 and I make, you know, 15, 20 grand, like I'm okay. Like I'm super in the green for the month and we can keep moving forward. So I was probably working in the beginning, like 20 hours a week. And I was probably closing like, in that 2 to 4 deals a month range. And it was enough.
Bro, that's mind blowing. Like, I'm trying to wrap my head around it because I work my butt off, bro. I work my butt off. I work like 60, 80 hours a week. And it's like, I'm not closing 2 to 4 deals a month. I'm averaging about 1, maybe 2 deals a month. And you're doing like part-time, traveling the world and doing 2 to 4 deals. Do you think that's just like the compound effort from going from 2022 till now? Do you think that like,
I do for sure. Yeah. Before I left, I was definitely really hustling like the few months leading up to it. So I did have a little bit more deal flow in the beginning that was kind of from that work I was doing before. So after like 3 months, I did see like a little bit of a dip. So then I kind of had to start working like a little bit more to kind of compensate for that. But I mean, the biggest thing was that before I left, I was doing so many different things. And then as soon as I got there, I was like, okay, I just need to close like, you know, two deals a month is really like what I need, like, you know, to be comfortable. And like, I'm going to stop doing like MLS deals. Like I'm going to stop spending time on that. And like, I'm going to stop, you know, doing agent outreach, like via phone calls. Like I'm only going to text like when I have time. And I was really just doing dispo and I was doing like texting for agent outreach, just those 2 things. So like, I wasn't really building like my business that much. I wasn't really training anybody. So now that I'm back, like I'm full-time again and I'm doing the same thing, 60, 80 hours for sure. But I'm like, you know, making SOPs. I'm like, you know, working on my processes, like trying to train people, like doing all that other kind of like admin to then build up for the next trip. So then there would be more of a business on that one.
Okay. So you got like hyper focused while you were there, just primarily dispo. Yep. Dude, I feel you, bro. I feel like a good like 25, 40% of my work is just admin stuff, just filling in the gaps.
Yeah.
Did you have your virtual assistants when you were working there?
I hired all of them when I was over there. So the first person I got was my man Edwin, who's in Africa. And I just had him just doing like contracts for me, like grabbing like data from Privy and just kind of like uploading it into my system and just doing all that like background stuff. And then I kind of experimented with a few other ones, having them do like calling agents, texting agents. Didn't have tons of success with those ones. But then, you know, now I've got 3 on the team, comping, calling buyers. But yeah, I kind of gradually, as the time went on, started building in more.
That's dope, bro. That's
Yeah.
dope. Dude, I'm curious. So you got into wholesaling in 2022, right? Why was it you were working your job at that time that you got into wholesaling, right? And like what was it like for you starting out? Like did you struggle when you started out, or did you just kind of like go with the flow of it? Like how was the mindset hurdles that most people go through?
Yeah. So I started in wholesaling because of social media. So my now wife, she's like in social media, that's her job. And she followed all these like influencers that were talking about like rental properties. So this was like 2021, I guess. And they were all talking about rental properties and how the interest rates are so low. So then we ended up buying a house from a wholesaler in Texas, which was super random because we were in New York at the time. And that was kind of my first thing in real estate. So I was supposed to do a burr, like it didn't really work out. Like we still have it as a rental, but it was not like a perfect burr. And then I was kind of all over the place from that. So I was hooked right away. As soon as I was like listening to Bigger Pockets, reading these books and everything. And I was like, wow, real estate is amazing. Like here's finally what I've been looking for, like to get out of my W-2 and like something I'm passionate about. So I was all in right away, but I was doing everything, the classic mistakes that everyone does. I was like trying to wholesale on my own. I got my realtor license. I was trying to do like multifamily. Also, I was doing direct to seller. I hired 2 VAs to do calling for direct to seller, even though I didn't know how to comp or like how to talk to sellers or what a deal looked like.
Fingers crossed they know how to do it.
Yeah, exactly. So I wasted like $2,000 paying these guys for like nothing.
Yeah.
And just doing everything, trying to like flip, keep stuff, like it's everything. And then that's when I came across Astro. And then finally it was like, okay, like here's what I can do. Like, here's how I can focus. And it still took me a little while because then once I joined Astro, I was still trying to do like Dispo. I was trying to do like, MLS deals, agent deals, like everything. And it took me 3 months to get my first deal. And it was probably like, 2 months before I really kind of like started like to focus in a little bit on like one thing, which was privy for me at the time. And then that's when I started to get some deals.
Mm-hmm. So, okay. So you got started doing a little bit of everything and you sucked at a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And then when you got into Astro flipping, and here's the Astro flipping logo for anybody that doesn't know about it. Astro flipping is, dude, it's so cool, bro. Such a beneficial community to be in. Guys, if you're not part of it, you should go join it. It's well worth it. You meet awesome people. They're vetted people. I met John through Astro flipping. Dude, we've made good money together. We split an $18,000 assignment fee. Yeah. And bro, you know what I love about Astro flipping is the mindset that comes with it. Like, okay, so before Astro flipping, I had the mindset of just like take, like take whatever you can get. It's you versus me. But like when I joined Astro flipping, and it's funny because bro, this is gonna like I want to touch on this deal that we did together, dude. Like if it wasn't for Astro flipping, I would have had a different mindset with this deal. Remember how originally it was only a $1,750 assignment fee for each person, and then we got the retrade. And dude, when I saw that retrade, I'm like, holy crap, we got a retrade, right? Like we have an $18,000. It's now $18,000, and I'm like, wait a minute, John is technically on paper only making $1,750, and Astro flipping says have an abundance mindset, give, right? And because Astro ingrained me with that abundance mindset, I'm like, I can't take this. This is not right. We split this, even though John was technically not legally obligated to receiving it. I'm like, we split this, like, because I know that there's so much more money coming down the road. And that's what I love about it, because we split that, bro. Next thing you know, we do another deal right after, right? Yep. You're still sending us deals. We're still sending you deals, and we're going to make far more money because of that abundance mindset. So like, I just want to go on that quick little tangent there with Astro flipping and how beneficial that is. And it just feels great, living in that abundance.
Yeah. I totally agree. And like, I was just saying that the other day too, to somebody that I was kind of like training, who's going to be new on my team. And it's great when you make money, like it's a blast, but it's even better when you're making money, like with your friends, right? And we're all like closing deals together, like making money and living however you want. It's awesome.
It feels so much better when other people make money with you. Like,
exactly. And I mean, I don't know if it's like Jamil or like what it is about the Astro community, but like everybody is exactly that way. And like, that on the next deal, like if I'm the act guy on that one and you sell it and I get a retrade, then I'm going to split that retrade with you. And we're just going to keep it going. I've had deals in Astro where it's 3 Astro people and I'm not even like involved in the deal anymore, but like maybe I had it under contract like 2 months ago. So I got it like on the other person's radar and I'll get paid from that deal that like I have no legal like reason to get paid, but you know, I put the deal on their radar and then they reward me by giving me some money.
Hell yeah, dude. It's so comforting. Like I feel like a lot of people in real estate, they're very like dog eat dog kind of world, especially, and I'm sorry, agents, but I feel like a lot of agents are trained to like think like it's you against me. But like it's not a fun way to live when people live it that way. It's so nice to feel safe and like I'd way rather do business with Astro flipping people than people outside of Astro flipping, just because I know that they have that mindset most of all. Of course, they have the training, which is really good because it makes it easy, but they have the mindset where I can feel comfortable, you know, doing something and knowing that like everybody's going to be taken care of because we're looking at it from the long-term perspective.
Yeah, 100%. And I think the reason too with like non-Astro people, like especially like other wholesalers or agents, is they're only thinking they're going to do like 1 deal a month. Whereas like, you know, we're trying to do 10 deals a month. Like that's our goal. Like, you know, so we know there's going to be more deals coming. Like it's not just this one that we need to get paid on.
Hey, I'm curious, bro. What kind of like mindset practices do you do? Like, do you meditate? Like what kind of things do you do?
Yeah. So good question. I do meditate every morning. I've been meditating pretty much every morning since I joined Astro. So like almost 2 years. I never did before. I was like, I didn't even like believe in meditating or anything like that. I was super like, not like, you know, woo woo, like at all. So that was kind of like, you know, something I had to get used to. But I mean, and I'm still not even like amazing at meditating for sure, but it definitely helps. Like, you know, I've definitely had ups and downs for sure. And like, I've had some rough real estate experiences, like these couple bad flips and everything. And like, I 100% like the reason I've made it through them is like because of meditation and like, just, you know, being able to like center your brain and like not go crazy with like these issues and things that can happen. So 100%, I meditate every morning. That's pretty much the only like mindset thing I do. I do yoga also. So that's kind of like a combination, you know, exercise and mindset. And then recently, because of you, the breath work. So I've been doing that every morning now recently too. I love breath work.
It's pretty fun, bro.
Yeah.
It's like you're like hacking your physiology with the breath work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The breath work is amazing.
Jamil put me on that. What did I say to him? I asked a question of like getting into a deeper state. I know what it was. I was like, Jamil, I'm bored of meditation. Like, I'm tired of just sitting there and being like, think of this, think of that. I'm like, this is boring. I want something like more active, more evolving. He's like, go do breath work, breath work with Sandy on YouTube. And I started doing it. I think today I'm on day 32.
Nice.
And yeah, we kind of just started like a little breathwork group. So
yeah, I love the group.
Bro, I'm so grateful that I get to do it with people. That feels good.
It is nice. Yeah. I actually prefer that afternoon session to like the one I do in the morning by myself. Yeah.
It's almost like everybody gets to like contribute to the energy field in a sense. Bro, you know, one thing that I find fascinating, I want to hear your thoughts on this, is like almost all spiritual practices, religious or non-religious, they have the power of prayer, right? Like they make prayers, they send out thought intentions to people or situations, and they try to influence the external world with their internal thought intentions. So like, what's your take on all of that? Because I'm starting to realize it more and more that like our thoughts literally change the physical world around us. Like, and if we want to look at it from a scientific perspective, our thoughts restructure the connections in our brain, the neurons in our brain. They move, literally pieces of our brain move around and make different connections, different neurons. So when we fire these thoughts out into the world and we say a prayer, we ask, you know, our creator to give it to us in a certain way, like bro, I'm fascinated by it. I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, like I mentioned before, like I kind of have more of like an analytical kind of brain, and like I've always been kind of like, you know, anti like the whole like woo woo kind of like culture or whatever.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like a struggle to kind of get my mindset to believing that. And honestly, I still kind of like some days I'm like, do I believe in this? Do I not believe in this? But then just the more I'm like around it, the more like I can't deny that it's like true. The more that I do spend time like visualizing and like meditating and focusing on like the things that I want to achieve, the more I see them happen. The more like I just hear about it, like the more I keep hearing about it in like, you know, like the Nobel Prize winner and like science is like now backing it all up. Like it's not really just people that like theorize it now. Like now it's like almost actual scientific fact. So for me, it's been kind of like I'm coming around on it, but like I know that it is true.
Bro, I feel the same. Like when I first started, I'm like, this is some crazy holistic stuff. Like, what is this? This is BS. And then I started doing it, and I'm like, and I started having these synchronicities. Dude, you know what the first synchronicity was for me? It was the mastermind, bro. The first mastermind that I went to, I was so broke. I barely had enough money to keep my lights on. And I just kept visualizing. I'm like, I'm going to go to the mastermind. I'm going to go to the mastermind and visualizing what it would feel like to be there. And bro, lo and behold, somebody's like, hey, I have an extra ticket. I'd like to give it away to somebody in the community. And I got picked. And then next thing you know, okay, so then I got picked, right? And then I'm like, oh crap, I still got to get there and I got to get accommodations. And I'm like, I'm just going to visualize it. I'm going to visualize me having accommodations, bro. And then Jamil's like, I want you to stay at my house. And I'm like, what? And bro, it's just like, it all worked out. And that's when I'm like, wait a minute. Like, I can't deny the undeniable evidence.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't know exactly what it is still, but like, I know that it's undeniable. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's amazing. My first deal also was the day after the mastermind. And then my next 2 deals were the next week. So I went from doing no deals, went to the mastermind, and then had 3 like in the next 2 weeks right after it.
Which mastermind did you go to? What?
I went like Q3, I guess, of 2022. Yeah. Not last year, the year before. Yeah.
That one would have been like number 4, number 5, I think.
Maybe. It was like relatively early. Yeah.
Dude, that's dope. Bro, those masterminds are transformational.
They really are.
Like a paradigm shift. You're like, wait a minute. Playing too small. I'm more worthy.
100%. Yeah, exactly. And that's part of the reason that I felt comfortable, like, you know, quitting my W-2 and just being all in. Cause I was like, there's no chance that I can't make 10K a month. Like if I'm full, even if I'm part-time in Asia, like there's no doubt I can make that much money and survive.
I'm curious, dude, if you were to go back to yourself when you first started, when you were struggling and you were confused and maybe you didn't feel worthy when you first started, what advice would you give to yourself?
That's a really good question. I mean, I would say even for me now, like sometimes I feel like that too. But I would say just kind of like, you know, give yourself a break and like, you know, like it's simple, but it's not like easy. Like, so, you know, you need to put in like the work and you need to like focus on one thing. Like I was trying to do so many different things, like I was saying, and then I would kind of beat myself up because I'm like not having success. And then I was like, well, how could I possibly have success when I'm doing all these different things and I'm not giving any one of them the chance to have success? So that's what I would say. Like literally just give yourself some grace, pick one thing, and then just, you know, focus on that and just, you know, take it easy. Like I was also trying to do, you know, like $1 million right away, like without knowing anything. So just, you know, take it one step at a time, like get one deal, like get one property under contract, end up canceling that probably, get another one under contract, and then just keep it going. And then eventually, you know, you'll grow and grow. But yeah, I was a little bit too hard on myself for sure.
It sounds to me like have grace, be consistent, and be persistent.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. We should like frame that, put it on the wall. Have grace,
true.
Persistent, be persistent.
Yeah, 100%. Damn,
dude. That's dope.
Yeah. With the mindset stuff also too, that was another one that like when I was in Asia, like I kind of had to get back to that a little bit. And actually I didn't even really realize it completely too until like I left Asia and then I was back home. But when I was there, you know, the time zone is like, you know, 12 to 13 hours like difference. So, you know, 9 a.m. here in EST is 9 p.m. there. So there would be tons of times where, you know, I'm trying to sell a deal and somebody sends it to me at like 11 a.m. EST, and that's 11 p.m. for me there. and like I want to sell this deal, like, you know, so I'll work it for the next hour, and then maybe, you know, like a buyer would be like, oh, like, can I go see the property in like 3 hours? And then I'd be like, well, damn, 3 hours, I'm gonna be asleep, but like I need to know what this guy says. So there was a bunch of different nights where like I would be up just all night. I'd set my alarm for every like 45 minutes or whatever just to check my email, and like my whole rhythm of everything was like terrible for a little while. And I would wake up at like 7 a.m. because like I was wanting to catch the end of the day and make sure I didn't miss anything. And I would go right into the emails and work for the first 2 hours, and like no time to like relax or like decompress in between like my sleep cycle. And for a little while, like I was starting to see my results go super down there for a while. I had like a 0 month at one point in there actually. And I was getting depressed kind of. I was getting like angry at myself. I was like, how did I get like a 0 month? Like, this is crazy. And then eventually I just kind of like got back to having like an actual like morning routine and like a nighttime routine where like I could actually like decompress and like, you know, got back in the meditation and the visualization and everything, got a good night's sleep. And then all of a sudden, yeah, it just started to go right back up again.
Dude, that's vital, bro.
Yeah,
like
really,
when I skip it, oh gosh,
yeah.
I'm so unproductive.
Yeah, I was like shocked because in the beginning I was like, yeah, I can do this. Like, I don't need sleep, and
you can last like a little bit for that, but then eventually like it just starts to go down. Dude, one thing on my team is like we have our system Saturdays where like we kind of look at it from an executive approach and like be like overall like just dig into each person, like how are they doing? And my team was like to me, they're like, Nathan, like thank you for working really hard, but like go take care of yourself, bro. Like you're showing up, you're putting in the hours, but you're doing really shit right now because you're not taking care of yourself. Like you need to go to the gym, you need to be eating, you need to be cleaning your environment, bro. For a while I was like working so hard, I literally morning to night, like 6 a.m. to like 10 p.m. every single day, bro. I wasn't cleaning my house, I wasn't going to the gym, I wouldn't go outside sometimes, like I didn't shower for like 3 days, and they're like, Nathan, you're a mess, like go take some time off and clean yourself up.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I don't know, I feel like maybe it's like an unpopular opinion, but I don't really think that, like, I feel like so many people think when you quit your W-2, like, you know, you go from having like maybe 4 hours of free time to like 8 hours of free time or whatever, you know, you think you're going to double your free time and double your income. But like, I think that like when you have that much more time, then you end up just wasting so much more, or you burn yourself out and then you're just not effective in the time that you're working. Like, I'm sure your desk is a mess, and then like your brain is a mess, and then you're not putting out quality work. So I didn't see a huge difference in like productivity when I all of a sudden had this much more time, because then I just, you know, I started like, oh, I'll spend an hour eating lunch, or like, oh, I'll go, you know, do whatever.
Casually type up emails, like take way too long.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So that's always another thing that I tell people, because I feel like they think that like, you know, leaving your W-2 is kind of like the magic answer because you're going to have a lot more time. But I don't think necessarily that means you're going to have so much more productivity.
Yeah, your 9 to 5 turns into your 5 to 9.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, dude, I always have something to do. I always have some job, something that needs to get done.
Yeah.
I have to force myself to take free time. Dude, I want to hear it. Like, bro, what's your like self-care routine like? My
self-care routine is pretty fire.
I'm actually on Instagram, bro. You're like this for this for that. I'm like, I gotta know what are those.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta credit it to like my now wife, because she's really in like the low tox game and like the healthy foods. So like, she's our like diet, you. Yeah, no, literally, yeah. And I feel phenomenal all the time. Like, I mean, I work all day, pretty much every day, unless I'm like traveling, and you know, I've got energy all day. Like, you know, I'll do some like breath work if I'm starting to feel like a little bit low or whatever, but like my low is still pretty high compared to like a lot of like my friends and people that I know. And I think that it's because of like, you know, my self-care routines. So yeah, we go to the gym all the time, like at least 5 days a week, probably more like 6 to 7. Even if it's just like, you know, cardio one day or something like that. So we're always going to the gym, making sure that there's time for that. And then we eat super, I don't know if healthy is the word, but like we eat like high quality foods. So like all the food that we have is like, you know, like grass-fed beef, like, you know, wild caught salmon, like tons of protein. Like we're super on like the kind of the carnivore diet almost, organic, you know, fruits and veggies, all that. I drink a gallon of water every day. I also put this like, we have this like Redmond sea salt. It's like the best sea salt ever. And like we put that in like our water in the morning. So then you're like, you get your electrolytes from the water. Yeah, it's amazing. If you don't do that, a pinch of the Redmond sea salt in your water.
Bro, are those like those rock lamps? Like the pink rock? Is that kind of salt?
Pretty much, yeah. So just go lick your lamp and you'll be good. Yeah, but your body gets the electrolytes, and then like you literally, it's kind of like having a Gatorade, but I actually feel like the energy kind of like in my body when I have this like glass of salt water.
Dude, bro, I'm with you on the healthy food. Like,
yeah,
if I eat crappy food, I produce very crappy. If I eat healthy food, I produce very good. I can function cognitively far better on a healthy diet than on an unhealthy diet. And I think it's kind of a trap, bro. In my opinion, I think, a lot of people are caught in this trap of, I'm going to save money, so I'm going to get crappy food. They get crappy food. Now they can't operate efficiently. Therefore, they're not able to produce as high of an income as if they were running on good food. And then it's just like this spiral, this downward spiral of crappy food, crappy performance, crappy pay, more crappy food, crappy performance, crappy pay. So you kind of have to just like bite the bullet, pay the extra money, get the high quality food, perform at a higher quality, make that more money so that you can then continue to pay for that extra high quality food.
Yeah, 100%. It's like investing in yourself, and you're investing in your health and your energy. So you're just like, I feel the same way. Like if I eat, I mean, I haven't had fast food in ages, but like if I was to eat something along those lines, like the next day, like my stomach just feels like heavy. My brain feels like foggy. Whereas if I'm eating, like grass-fed beef with like, organic veggies on the side, like I just feel good. And it's also kind of interesting because, we kind of made the switch like fully over to like those like higher quality like foods. And I don't think that our grocery bill is like way higher. Because I don't know, I think that you also like when you eat like, a cheeseburger from like McDonald's, like you're having like 1,000 calories, but then you get kind of hungry again later.
Whereas you get calories, but not nutrients.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Whereas when you're eating, like something like a grass-fed beef or like grass-fed lamb or whatever, and like these veggies, like you're getting tons of protein and your body just like, I guess, is more satiated. I don't know the exact science behind it, but like, and we'll like, for example, we buy these like wild caught sardine cans, and it's like $1 for this can of sardines that you just like open up. I put like salt and pepper on it, and it's like 50 grams of protein, and like you're full from that protein. It's amazing, bro. Yeah, it's amazing. That's a lot. Maybe it's $2, but still, it's not much.
Jeez, wow. We should hand those out to homeless people. Holy crap. That's very efficient.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And it's delicious, actually. Yeah.
Dude, it's like you're a Lamborghini, right? Put good fuel in yourself. Put the 94 fuel in yourself. Heck, if there's a higher version of it, put it in yourself.
Yeah, 100%. And like another thing too, I was just saying to one of my other friends the other day, because he was like, trying to get on the diet game. And he was like, like I can't stick on a diet because like, like I love dessert. And I was like, bro, I eat dessert minimum 4 times a week. Like dude, my wife,
sugar?
We always have dessert, but all the desserts that we have are like, she'll make something that's like good ingredients, like coconut sugar, dates. It'd be like 4 ingredients, like coconut sugar, date, almond butter, and like, I don't know, some other honey or whatever. And then she'll just make like a delicious dessert out of it. But it's like good ingredients, so you don't have all like the sugar and processed stuff. And my abs are fire.
Bro, again, that fascinated me, dude, when you said that you eat dessert 4 times a week, because like, yeah, dude, you're fit, bro. You're toned, that's for sure. Thanks. I'm kind of against not I'm kind of against sugar, bro. Like I personally think that it's like a drug that a lot of people like. Bro, apparently sugar is more addictive than, I'm not gonna say it because YouTube's gonna flag me. But yeah,
wow, interesting.
The word that starts with a C.
Oh, wow, really?
Bro, it causes so many health problems as well. Dude, the number one, okay, it's not just sugar, but it's diet in general, but sugar is a big aspect of it. Sugar and food that clogs your arteries, like high fat food. Low nutrients, bro. America, the number one cause of death in America is heart failure.
Yeah, like, it's wild.
But okay, John, I'm sorry if this is a really politically incorrect thing to say, and like people start getting mad in the comment section. But like, I just, it's a fact. more people die every year due to poor health than they did on 9/11.
Wow.
And America doesn't do anything about it.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah.
Like, there's something wrong, bro. Like, I don't know how.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not super read up on everything, but from my understanding, like, you know, what I hear is that like the big industries, you know, that run those products, they're just so ingrained in like the government and everything that they give so much to the government. Yeah, exactly. And then they just keep it going because they want to sell their products. But there's like, even like, I don't know the exact ones, but it's like B12 or something like that, like those chemicals that are in food in America that's like banned in the rest of the world. Like in Europe, like you can't have those chemicals in your food because they know it's unhealthy. But in America, it's in all the food.
Bro, the food around the world, how is it like health-wise?
It's amazing. Asia, like, you know, they have a lot of carbs because we had like tons of noodles and like rice all the time, but we really didn't like gain weight, and we were going out to eat like every single day. Europe, we were there for like a month, not on this trip, but a different time, and like lost weight in there, drinking wine every day and going out to eat every day. And we were like losing weight. So yeah, it's just the food in America is not great. Yeah. Sorry, America, but
I'm Canadian. Come get me. Yeah. Fascinating, bro. It's fascinating. It's funny that people don't talk about these things. I think that's the biggest one that really like gets me intrigued, is people just don't want to talk about it. Maybe it's because they enjoy I think people are just addicted to their food, right? Like,
yeah,
I mean, companies literally use scientists to make their food more addictive, right? Add MSG, they add sugar. They try to get everything to what's called the bliss point, where it's like the perfect amount of sugar that'll like keep you as addictive as possible, but not too much to where it's like, oh, a little like tomato soup, bro. Look at tomato soup. Dude, you ever see how much sugar is in tomato soup?
That's so funny, because there's tomato soup on my counter because my wife just found it in the cabinet and she's throwing it out. And I looked at the ingredients and I was like, oh my God, there's like 50 things in here. Like I thought tomato soup would just be like tomatoes.
Right. No, not only that, but dude, it's like primarily sugar.
Yeah. Yeah. I think like 3 of the first ingredients are like sugar. It's like sugar, tomato.
Dude, and not only that, but they're also like sugar. Different name for sugar, another different name for sugar, another different name for sugar. And bro, anything that's like a different name for sugar, they're not counting that on the nutrition facts.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, bro. That's how they get around it.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, they're tricky. Yeah. So I don't know. Like when we were in Asia, like I didn't exercise that much because it was just hard with our schedule and everything. We were always moving around. Towards the end, we tried to get like Airbnbs that had like something nearby. But yeah, I really didn't see like a big change in like my weight or anything like that. I lost some like muscle, but other than that, I wasn't really like getting fat, and I was going out to eat all the time, but they just have better ingredients.
That's dope, bro. That's dope. Well, dude, holy crap, bro. I'm glad I got to ask you those questions, dude. So we went over your trip to Asia, like your trip around the world, really, and how that went. Bro, we went start to finish. We went like from like being dissatisfied in your job, getting into Astro, getting over the mindset hurdles, your leap of faith and just traveling the world, you know, just knowing that like it's going to get like the deals are going to get done. The universe is going to provide, to getting married, to how you're pretty much biohacking, and changing your health. We talked about like how society views health and how we're kind of different from society. I think we covered a lot of really cool points. Is there anything specific that you think the viewers would just get a ton of value from? Any takeaways that you think they should have?
I mean, definitely, I love what we were saying about like investing in yourself. I think that's the way to go. And then because we are talking about like travel and everything, I would say, you know, just really like focus on what you're looking for in your life, like what would make you happy, like, and just, you know, run your own race, like do your own thing. Like, don't worry about trying to match everyone else, and just, you know, be happy with where you are or where you want to go, and then just focus on that. So for example, we're actually getting ready to go on our honeymoon. So now I'm working now.
You just did your honeymoon. You're going to go for a second one?
That's the honeymoon. Just 2 weeks in Mexico to a little relax. We're going now we actually had just bought our tickets yesterday, so we're flying business class to Doha, Qatar, and then we're gonna go do like 6 weeks or 7 weeks in Europe and go around there, Greece, Albania, Croatia, and go around there. But now I'm working on setting up my business and like growing everything. So like I'm no longer going to be happy doing, you know, like 2 deals a month when I'm there. Like now I'm trying to keep things more like an actual business. So that's the goal that I'm trying to working on now, and the mindset that I'm trying to get to.
But it sounds to me like you're doing it for you, not to like impress other people. You're doing it because that's what you want.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, John. Dude, I am so grateful to have you as my friend.
Same. I agree.
All right, guys.
Cool.
Well,
it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, dude, this is it. This is the end of the podcast. John, how do people reach out to you if they want to do deals with you?
Yeah, you can find me on
Instagram. A carrier pigeon?
Yeah, that works too. Instagram at the real John Maio, JONMAIO. Or you can send me an email, deals@flip-wave.com, -- the symbol. And yeah, Facebook, pretty much anywhere. TikTok.
Let's go.
Yep.
Asia. Go find him in Asia.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Thank you, John. Appreciate you a ton. And I'll see you guys in the next one.